Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Xiao Yan's shoulders trembled after he was silent for a moment. A pair of jade green fire wings surfaced on his back. With a gentle flap, he immediately rushed in the direction of the capital. Xiao Yan's injuries had unexpectedly recovered during these 3 days. He sensed the barrier to the Do Huang class a couple of times while recovering his Do Qi. However, this was merely a feeling. A true breakthrough did not appear. The difficulty of attempting to break through to the Do Huang class far exceeded Xiao Yan's expectations. Despite him having undergone a big life and death battle with Yunshan, there was still a gap left. Xiao Yan was not too anxious in regards to this. This was because he vaguely knew that it would not be long before he would advance to the Do Huang class. Perhaps, all it required was a slight opportunity of luck and that breakthrough would naturally arrive. Do Huang, Xiao Yan's figure flew through the air like lightning, leaving behind only a faint black figure. He narrowed his eyes and the fists under his sleeves were tightened. That one protector of the Hall of Souls already possessed the strength of a Do Zone. I do not know how many such experts remained within that organization. It seems that I will at the very least need to reach the peak of the Do Huang class, or even the Do Zone class in order to rescue teacher. Otherwise, I would only be allowing myself to get caught if I were to forcefully head over. At that time, everything would truly be over. The wild wind blew beside Xiao Yan's ears as the scenery below flashed past, while this thought rotated within his heart. Zun has also said before she left that I cannot go and look for her before reaching the strength of a Do Zone. I think that her clan's strength is not inferior to the Hall of Souls. This path seems to be very long, Xiao Yang sighed softly within his heart. His expression gradually became determined. Xiao Yang had to put in a tremendous amount of effort to become a person whom all the experts within the Jioma Empire looked up to after being ridiculed as the trash of his clan. Father, teacher. Zun wait for me. Xiao Yang will not disappoint you. Xiao Yang inhaled a deep breath of air. His shoulders shook and the jade green fire wings became much denser. His flying speed soared at this moment. Finally, he transformed into a black lightning bolt as he flew to the enormous capital that had appeared in his sight. Xiao Yang flew to the capital and appeared in the sky above the Xiao mansion a moment later. His body turned and he swiftly rushed down. Some human figures in the dark corners of the Xiao mansion flashed as Xiao Yang's body descended from the sky above the Xiao mansion. Weapons containing cold glints flickered in their hands, emitting dense, cold lusters. However, these black figures had just rushed out of the darkness, prepared to stop this uninvited guest, when a powerful aura descended from the sky. It suppressed their bodies which were about to leap forward. A faint voice was also transmitted into everyone's ears at the same time. There is no need to panic. It's me. Those black figures finally paused after hearing this familiar voice. They knelt on one knee and greeted the black-robed, young man, who was suspended in the sky. They immediately shrank back into the darkness in a ghost-like manner after causing the entire Xiao mansion to enter a defensive state. These subordinates, who are groomed by second brother, are indeed quite good. Their bloody aura has an extraordinary fighting strength. With them protecting the Xiao mansion, it is likely that an ordinary expert would have difficulty intruding into it. In the face of a stronger person, there was still Medusa, Ziyang, and the others. Anyone would definitely be detected upon entry. Xiao Yang's gaze fluttered slightly as he looked at the black figures, who had shrank into the darkness, while he muttered softly to himself. When Xiao Yang suddenly recalled Ziyang in his heart, he suddenly remembered that this little girl had actually blocked Protector Wu after his strength had soared from swallowing Yunshan's spirit. This was really somewhat extraordinary. It should be known that a blow from Protector Wu in that condition was likely something that even experts, at the peak of the Do Huang class, like Hai Budong and Jiuxing Qian, would not dare to easily receive. Yet this girl had actually received it head-on. Moreover, she did not receive any injuries other than feeling a little weak. Xiao Yang's figure landed in the Xiao mansion. After which, he moved along the small path and arrived outside the living room a moment later. There was the sound of a conversation, faintly transmitted from Xiao Ding and the others. He smiled slightly and pushed open the door to enter. Xiao Yang, who had suddenly pushed open the door to enter, caused Xiao Ding and Xiao Li to be startled. They immediately rejoiced and came forward. If you continue to remain away, we would have had to invite Old Hai to go to the misty cloud to search for you. Xiao Li patted Xiao Yang's shoulders and helplessly spoke. Xiao Yang smiled. He did not mention anything that happened during these 3 days. His gaze turned to Xiao Ding as he spoke with a soft laugh. Big brother, we can invite Chairman Fa Ma and the couple heads from the large clans over tomorrow. It is time to establish the faction that will protect our Xiao clan. Joy flashed across Xiao Ding's eyes when he heard this. He said, have you completely recovered from your injuries? Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. He looked at the joyous eyes of the two people and muttered softly in his heart, the Xiao clan will surpass the Misty Cloud sect and become the overlord of this Jioma empire. Father, I will definitely fulfill your wish. When the warm sunlight gradually covered the entire capital the next day, the entrance to the Xiao mansion, that was seated in the middle of the capital, continuously received people from the few strongest factions within the capital. Many people could see the coat of arms that represented the various factions pausing by the entrance from a great distance. They had a feeling that a major change was about to happen within the Jioma Empire. The defense of the entire Xiao clan was unusually tight today. Any person not from the clan walking near it would immediately attract over a dozen eyes. If any person who arrived displayed even the slightest illegal activity, it was likely that that person would garner numerous attacks. There was a large meeting room that was positioned in the middle of the Xiao mansion. Not many people could enter this place. There were a couple of people there, but they were equivalent to the strongest few factions within the Jioma Empire. However, the tension within the room was not as tense as expected. There were only a couple people that could enter into this room, and they represented the largest factions within Jioma Empire. A black-robed, young man was seated in the leader's seat within the hall. He would occasionally chat, and laughing with Hai Budong by his side. A cold pretty-faced Medusa and Zi Yang, who was repeatedly looking all around, was seated on his left. Occasionally, some of the gazes in the hall would faintly sweep over this duo, one large and one small. Their gazes were filled with fear. Everyone had arrived after Xiao Yang had chatted with Hai Budong for a while. Only then did he cease chatting and slowly sweep his eyes over the entire room. His eyes immediately paused on the figure of a lady and an old man on one side of the circular table. He smiled and said, it is unexpected that even Jiao Lao and Princess Yao Yi have come today. You are really important guests. Jiao Xingtian laughed upon hearing this. Our imperial family naturally needs to come over and join the liveliness of such a big matter. We have come to look at how the future second generation, Misty Cloud sect, will be established in the Jioma Empire. His gaze swept over Medusa and Zi Yang by Xiao Yang's side when he spoke these words. A deep fear flashed across his eyes. Everyone nodded slightly upon hearing this. However, their gazes were still placed on Xiao Yang. This kind of situation remained consistently like this since a long time ago. The Jioma Empire did not have a high position within the northwestern region. It even resulted in the people who had come from the Jioma Empire to receive unequal treatment outside. It was due to this that the business of the few large clans was ultimately restricted to the empire and was not released out. This was because they needed to retain their strength to protect themselves within the empire. Once they gained such an ability to guarantee their reputation outside of the empire, the few empires around them outside of the Jioma Empire refused to bother with them. I think that everyone should be aware of some of my plans. The empire that possesses some strong factions within it would also raise the position of the country. However, now that the Misty Cloud sect has disappeared, I, Xiao Yang, would like to establish an even stronger faction. Xiao Yang's gaze suddenly became stern as he spoke in a deep voice. My hope in gathering everyone here today is for everyone to join this alliance. Your position and your benefits in the future will definitely be far from what you can compare with now. Xiao Yang and Xiao Ding exchanged glances with one another. The latter laughed softly and said, once the alliance is established, we will create a hall that specializes in grooming experts for the alliance. It will help provide the alliance with a never-ending stream of new blood. All of you, being the members of the alliance, can recommend sending your outstanding younger generation to it. They will be able to receive the most perfect training and grooming there. The Qi methods and Do techniques present there will be something that your clans will be unable to provide. Their achievements in the future will definitely exceed your earlier expectations. The eyes of Mu Chen, Nailan Jie, and the others brightened upon hearing this. This welfare was something that would attract them. May I know what must we give up if we were to join? Nailan Jie smiled and politely inquired. Anyone who joins the alliance cannot concern itself only with itself in the future. Instead, it must view the alliance as a family and protect all its interest. Xiao Ding spoke faintly. The words that he said were simple to utter, but one had to give up a lot in order to commit to such words. Nailan Jie and the others were slightly startled upon hearing these words that Xiao Ding casually mentioned. Their faces immediately revealed some hesitation. They were naturally able to hear some meaning behind them. If they were to join the alliance, the structure of their clan would no longer exist. They must treat the alliance as a clan in the future and contribute all they could to it. Everyone, the alliance does not belong to any single individual. It will have an elders' council that will be the highest decision maker. Even the alliance head can only obey them. Now that we are just starting to establish it, every clan will be given a seat on the elders' council for being the founding members. However, it will definitely not be so simple in the future. Xiao Ding smiled as he explained. The hesitation on the faces of Nailan Jie and the others only weakened after hearing these words. They still had difficulty making an instant decision. After all, what they needed to contribute to was the entire clan. Everyone curled their mouth when they heard this. Your Prima clan is basically in the same boat as Xiao Yan. Would you lose out by joining the alliance? A cold and indifferent gaze suddenly swept over while everyone hesitated. Nailan Jie and the others appeared to have sensed some denseness within the gaze. Their hearts became slightly chilled as they raised their heads, only to see Medusa beside Xiao Yang staring at them. Mu Chen sighed quietly and laughed bitterly. He lifted his head and said, "Since Old Hai has agreed, our Mu clan also agrees to join the alliance. Hopefully, Mr. Xiao Yang will treat our Mu clan well in the future. We are one family now that you have joined the alliance. Whoever dares to touch the Mu clan will have to get permission from me, Xiao Yang." Xiao Yang spoke in a deep voice. Nailan Jie also let out a bitter smile upon seeing that 2 of the 3 large clans had already joined. If he did not agree at such a moment, it was likely that their ending would not be good in the future. Originally, Xiao Yang did not have much of a favorable impression towards him. If they were to continue offending him, it was likely that, since that is the case, our Nailan clan will also agree to join. Xiao Yang also quietly sighed in relief after seeing that the 3 large clans had agreed. He also did not wish to use force unless it was absolutely necessary. Xiao Yang's gaze shifted away from Nailan Jie and the others before turning to the back of the meeting room toward Fa Ma, who had chosen to remain silent. He laughed faintly and asked, "Chairman Fa Ma, may I know your opinion?" Fa Ma laughed bitterly in his heart upon hearing Xiao Yang's words. His turn had still arrived and he was really unable to escape. "Little friend Xiao Yang, our alchemist association is different from a clan. The association does not have any overly strict restrictions. There are many alchemists who are free. The alchemist association is unable to represent their choice. Hence, Fa Ma sighed." Xiao Yang narrowed his eyes. His gaze looked straight at Fa Ma. Even though he knew that the latter was telling the truth, he still did not intend to give up on the Alchemist Association. This was because this was the faction which he held in the highest regard. Hence, he had to get the Alchemist Association to enter the alliance no matter what. With these alchemists, the strength of the alliance would swiftly soar in the future. No matter how one put it, an alchemist was the most important and rarest occupation on the Do-Chi continent. Hence, he must not give up on the Alchemist Association. This was the most important objective among the many other plans. The helpless expression on Fa Ma's face grew even richer under the focus of Xiao Yang's gaze. However, he did not open his mouth. The alliance that Xiao Yang had mentioned might be extremely alluring, but the reputation that this association possessed in the Jioma Empire was only inferior to that of the Misty Cloud sect. Moreover, even the Misty Cloud sect was afraid of them from a certain point of view due to them having many alchemists. After all, they were extremely clear of the ability to gather experts that alchemists possessed. Being the head of the Alchemist Association, Fa Ma's reputation within the Jioma Empire was something that even Pilking Ji he could not match. After so many years of networking, he had a relationship with quite a number of experts. Hence, unless there was a benefit that would cause him to submit, it was likely difficult for him to nod his head in agreement if one wanted him to join the alliance that Xiao Yan has established. Chairman Fa Ma. Once the Alchemist Association joins the alliance would support all the expenditures of the alchemists in the association. It would have a great benefit to them when they raise their alchemist tier. There is also no need to be overly worried that most of the alchemists within the association are free individuals. As long as Chairman Fa Ma agrees, Xiao Yang believes that your agreement would let most of them be at ease in joining the alliance. Xiao Yang finally opened his mouth and broke the tense atmosphere a moment later. Fa Ma's eyes flickered. However, he once again shook his head with a bitter smile a moment later. He sighed, I cannot make a decision like that. I need to return and discuss with some elders before making my decision. Chairman Fa Ma, may I know how many Tier 5 alchemists the Alchemist Association currently possesses? Xiao Yang smiled faintly before suddenly asking. Fa Ma was startled when he heard this. He immediately replied somewhat uncertainly, there are not more than 5. However, the old me has already been at the peak of the 5th tier for many years. Recently, I have a feeling that I might be able to reach the 6th tier soon. Xiao Yang merely smiled when he saw the slight fluttering in Fa Ma's gaze when the latter spoke. He softly said, does Chairman Fa Ma really possess the confidence to reach the 6th tier? The smile on Fa Ma's face was quietly withdrawn upon hearing Xiao Yang's words. He frowned intently but refused to speak. He was naturally most aware of the situation of his own body. As long as Chairman Fa Ma is willing to join the alliance, Xiao Yang will promise here that I will let the Alchemist Association own 10 Tier 5 alchemists within 10 years. Moreover, you will also step into the 6th tier during this period. Xiao Yang smiled upon seeing Fa Ma's manner. He slowly threw what was a powerful bomb toward the latter. Numerous sounds from the inhalation of cold air had expectedly sounded when Xiao Yang's words rang out. Even Hai Budong was also looking at the smiling Xiao Yang with a stunned face. Hai Budong and the others knew of the difficulty for an alchemist to increase his or her tier. Hence, all of their faces were looking at Xiao Yang with stunned looks when they heard Xiao Yang said that the Alchemist Association would possess 10 Tier 5 alchemists and a Tier 6 alchemist within 10 years. A ridiculous feeling quietly appeared in their hearts. Congratulations, little friend Xiao Yang. By including the Alchemist Association into the alliance, it is likely that the potential of the alliance will be difficult to measure. Jiao Xingqian smiled as he spoke. However, he quietly sighed in his heart. He was not unaware of the status that the Alchemist Association possessed within the Jioma Empire. In the past, the imperial family had tried its best to think of ways to rope them in. However, these haughty fellows ultimately refused to listen. It was really unexpected that Xiao Yang had managed to get such a big bargain now. Xiao Yang also smiled slightly. His gaze glanced at the slight envy that had seeped out of the eyes of Mu Chen and the others. With a faint smile, he said, as long as the 3 large clans do their best for the alliance in the future, I, Xiao Yang, will also promise all of you that your clan will possess 3 or more elite Do Huangs after 10 years. I think that this would be much easier compared to grooming 10 Tier 5 alchemists. Mu Chen, Nailan Jie, and the rest were startled when they heard this. Their faces were filled with a wild joy as they hurriedly got up, cupped their hands together, and thanked Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang grinned and waved his hand. He said, since everyone has joined the alliance, we are naturally all part of one family. The alliance strength will be stronger if we have more experts. This is something that I ought to do. Jiao Xingqian and Yao Yi were also shaken by the promise that Xiao Yang had given. Grooming elite Do Huangs within 10 years. They would definitely scoff if these words escaped another person's mouth. However, in the face of this young man, who defeated an elite Do Zong at the mere age of 20, the doubt in their hearts had been suppressed to the lowest level. With the latter's never-ending trump cards, it seemed that he might really have such abilities. The hearts of the 2 people were faintly envious when they thought of this. Their imperial family had groomed people for many years, but they only possessed a small number of expert Do Wangs. Other than the serene sea scaly beast, the entire imperial family only had Jiao Xingqian as an elite Do Huang. This was also the area in which Jiao was most worried about. Should he end up unluckily dying in the future, would the imperial family that had lost his protection not have their deterrent strength greatly decrease? Jiao and Yao Yi exchanged glances, while they sighed quietly within their hearts. Their brows frowned slightly as they softly sighed. After musing for a moment, Jiao appeared to have made a great decision as he stood up, faced Xiao Yan and spoke with his hands cupped together. "Cuckoo, little friend Xiao Yan. May I know if you will be able to allow our imperial family to possess a couple of elite Do Huangs in 10 years if we were to join this alliance?" Everyone in the hall was shocked by these sudden words that came from Jiao. Was the imperial family also thinking of joining this alliance? Jiao laughed out loud when he heard this. His heart, however, sighed in relief. Perhaps committing to this alliance would further solidify the position of their imperial family. Since this is an alliance, have you given it a name? Xiao Ding smiled slightly. He exchanged glances with Xiao Yang before softly replying, "There are only 2 words in the name of the alliance. We call it Yang Alliance." Yang Alliance. Jiao softly uttered the name in his mouth. His eyes moved to Xiao Yang by the side and laughed, "Good name. It is likely that the position of this Yang Alliance in the future will far surpass the Misty Cloud sect. Hopefully, there will be a seat for the Jiomar Empire in the northwestern region in the future." Xiao Yang nodded with a smile and softly replied, "Xiao Yang will naturally do my best. Since this alliance has been established, we will naturally need a leader, who will lead everyone." Fa Ma stood up and smiled as he said, "It seems that this position will definitely belong to little friend Xiao Yang." Mu Chen, Nailan Jie, and the others hurriedly voiced their agreement after hearing Fa Ma's words. After Xiao Yang had spent so much time and effort to establish a faction, these people would naturally not naively think that he was impartial. The position of the alliance chief was naturally encapsulated within it. Naturally, there would not be anyone who would foolishly voice any opposition in this kind of situation. Xiao Yang smiled in the face of this agreement. He did not purposefully put up an act to decline it. Instead, he got up and laughed. The Yang Alliance does not belong to Xiao Yang alone. Its future achievements still need to rely on all the founding members seated here. Xiao Yang smiled and nodded upon seeing that everything was progressing as he had expected. He waved his hand and the female servants by the side served some wine that had already been poured in front of everyone. The formation of the alliance today can be considered a big matter. Let's all have a drink for the Yang Alliance. Xiao Ding raised his wine cup and laughed. Cheers! 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 The largest faction within the Jiomar Empire was finally established amid the laughter in the hall. Perhaps in a short while, this new faction would be mentioned by the mouths of every single person from the Jiomar Empire. Many people would know that this faction would be the replacement of the Misty Cloud sect. Whether this replacement would walk even further than the Misty Cloud sect would be determined by what abilities its leader possess. Xiao Yang smiled. He stretched his lazy waist and said, "Now that the alliance has been successfully established, I will hand the subsequent matters to Big Brother and Second Brother to settle. I am not very good at this." "You brat." Xiao Ding helplessly shook his head when he saw that Xiao Yang had already begun to shirk his responsibilities. "That's right, Second Brother. Have you found all the medicinal ingredients that I got you to look for?" Xiao Yang appeared to have suddenly recalled something as he inquired. "The Primer clan has managed to dispatch the list of these medicinal ingredients to all its auction houses. They have gathered all the medicinal ingredients, but there is only enough to refine 2 medicinal pills. If you fail, it is likely that they will need to spend 2 months in order to continue gathering all of them." Old Hai said that these medicinal ingredients were far too rare. Even the Primer clan does not keep much of them around. Xiao Li was startled when he heard the question. His gaze swept over Xiao Ding without leaving a trace as he immediately replied, 2 sets ha. It should be enough to refine 1 pill. You should deliver the medicinal ingredients to my chamber later. Xiao Yang hesitated for a moment. 2 sets of medicinal ingredients was indeed a little risky. However, the little life that Xiao Li currently had left did not allow him to delay any longer. Hence, Xiao Yang immediately opened his mouth to reply. Xiao Li slightly nodded. No doubt was aroused in Xiao Ding's heart when the 2 of them were discussing the medicinal ingredients. After all, it was extremely natural for Xiao Yan to refine medicinal pills since he was an alchemist. Hence, their eyes glanced at the pretty, cold face of Medusa by the side after the two of them finished their conversation. Xiao Ding immediately gave Xiao Li a look before having him push his wheelchair out of the hall. They looked, Xiao Yang helplessly shook his head when he saw the actions of the two of them. He immediately threw his gaze toward Medusa. After being silent for a moment, he softly said, "Thank you very much." This thanks was naturally, because she was willing to come and hold the fort for him. Medusa was the best choice if he wanted to deter and shake those old fellows. However, her character was too cold. Xiao Yang was also prepared to be rejected when he invited her to help. He did not expect that the other party would agree in such a crisp fashion. "I only wanted to come and kill." Unfortunately, things did not go as I hoped. Medusa merely responded faintly in the face of Xiao Yang's thanks. However, even she might have sensed her ice-cold pupils become a little gentler at this moment. "Xiao Yang, the yaoan that you have given me has long been finished. Now that your injuries have completely recovered, you should hurry and refine some more for me." Zi Yang, who had been following beside Medusa, immediately muttered. Xiao Yang smiled as he stepped forward and gently rubbed Zi Yang's head. He agreed with a faint grin, "All right. I will refine for you in a while, you little greedy fellow. You should be quick. I can sense that I seem to be about to become stronger again, and require a large amount of energy. Otherwise, I am about to fall into a slumber." Zi Yang knit her little brows. Ever since she had blocked that blow from Protector Wu on the misty cloud mountain, she faintly began to feel a strange feeling. Hence, she was anxiously in need of a large amount of energy. Xiao Yang and Medusa were startled when they heard this. Their eyes immediately revealed a curious glow as they looked at Zi Yang. A moment later, they exchanged looks with one another and said in surprise, "It seems that she is about to advance." Xiao Yang mused for a moment. Zi Yang was at the Do Wang class when he had first met her in the inner academy back then. According to the rank of a magical beast, it was only natural for a rank 5 magical beast to advance after having eaten so many natural treasures. The advancement of a magical beast will require an unusually large amount of energy. Hence, an ordinary magical beast that advances would first find various kinds of natural treasures. However, this girl has been eating countless numbers of treasures for so many years and only advanced now. It seems that the energy she needs to advance is indeed massive. I really don't know what kind of being she is. Medusa's tone also carried some surprise. It was also the first time that she had seen a magical beast require such a large amount of energy to advance. Normally speaking, the greater the energy needed during the advancement, the stronger the magical beast. However, someone like Zi Yang seemed to require so much that it was a little overboard. You can rest assured that I will help her obtain it no matter how great the amount of energy she requires. This little fellow has followed me and run out of the inner academy. I cannot allow her to be injured. Otherwise, I would have difficulty accounting to First Elder Su Qin in the future. Xiao Yang pinched Zi Yang's tender jade-like little face. He could not help but laugh gently when he saw the cute manner of the latter, in which she repeatedly swung her face to avoid his hand. Medusa was also startled when she saw the gentleness that Xiao Yang displayed at this moment. She immediately said in a faint manner, "This little fellow is very close to me. I will not agree even if you allow her to be injured." Xiao Yang helplessly shook his head upon seeing Medusa appear to be protecting the child. He seemed to have recalled something as he raised his eyes and looked at Medusa. He softly said, "Our 1-year agreement will arrive after 1 to 2 months. Medusa's hand that was helping comb Zi Yang's purple hair stilled. Her pretty face, that was showing signs of a gentleness earlier, slowly turned icy cold. Those eyes that were filled with a bewitching charm glanced at Xiao Yang. Her voice was indifferent as she said, "Don't you know that you will definitely be the first person to die in my hands once I consume the soul recovery pill? Or do you think that the current you can contend with me?" Xiao Yang laughed bitterly and said, "I am naturally aware of this. However, there is an agreement and I will naturally not break the agreement. Moreover, from the way you are gathering medicinal ingredients from all over the place, it seems that you are also really looking forward to it. Don't tell me that I can actually ignore it." Medusa's eyes were ice cold as she glanced at Xiao Yang. She immediately pulled Zi Yang's little hands, turned her body and walked out of the hall. Only when she reached the doorway did she pause her footsteps and speak in a faint voice. Those medicinal ingredients have all been eaten by Xiao Yan. If you are really anxious to refine the medicinal ingredients, there is no need to go to the trouble. You can just tell me and I will strike you. Of course, don't think that this queen has a change of heart. It is just that I wish to allow you to live for a little longer. A stunned look appeared in Xiao Yang's eyes after he heard Queen Medusa throw these words out before leaving the hall. A strange expression covered his face. This woman, during the time where the outside world was in an uproar over the establishment of the Yang Alliance, Xiao Yan completely ignored everything in the outside world and quietly remained in his chamber. He prepared to refine the medicinal pill that would extend his second brother's life. Xiao Yan was seated cross-legged on a rock bed within the chamber. A crimson-colored medicinal cauldron was standing in front of him. Various medicinal ingredients were neatly laid out on a stone platform by his side. The rich medicinal fragrance spread out before shrouding the entire chamber like a fog. Deep green longevity pill. Xiao Yan shut his eyes. His mouth softly muttered the name of the pill while various refining methods for this pill, as well as some areas that he needed to take note of repeatedly churned within his mind. He continued in this manner for a while before slowly opening his eyes. His gaze stared intently at the medicinal cauldron, and he softly muttered to himself, I must successfully refine one pill from these two sets of medicinal ingredients. Second brother is left with less than 2 months of life. If all of these medicinal ingredients are destroyed, it is likely that a lot of effort will be needed to search for them. If there is insufficient time, the result, Xiao Yang frowned intently when he thought of this. He softly exhaled a breath of air while determination surfaced in his pupils. No matter what, he must successfully refine a deep green longevity pill today. Xiao Yang acted the moment he said he would. After inhaling deep breaths of air a couple of times, he swiftly tossed aside the unnecessary thoughts in his mind. He flicked his finger and the jade-green glazed lotus core flame appeared in his hand. His finger shook and the flame rushed out before entering the medicinal cauldron in front of him where it instantly transformed into a fierce flame. While it burned within the cauldron, a hot temperature still seeped out despite the isolation created by the medicinal cauldron. This caused the temperature in the chamber to slowly climb. Xiao Yang ignored the high temperature around him. His eyes did not blink as he paused on the medicinal cauldron. A moment later, he waved his hand and a green thorny fruit that faintly emitted a rich fragrance from the stone platform landed in Xiao Yang's hand. Under a new heavenly flame, like the glazed lotus core flame, that was formed from the merger of two heavenly flames, any medicinal ingredient would disarm and surrender to it within a short period of time no matter how hard it was. This deep green fruit was no exception. Although it resisted the heavenly flame for a moment by relying on the life force that was contained within it, the flame whistled as Xiao Yang's mind moved and threads of cream-white juice slowly seeped out from the deep green fruit. The flame slowly caused it to transpire, as the amount of cream-white juice flowing out of it increased. Finally, a cluster of liquid that was around half the size of a palm formed under the fruit. Xiao Yang's eyes observed the interior of the medicinal cauldron. The seal on his hand changed around half an hour later, and the flame within the medicinal cauldron was reduced. The deep green fruit within it had completely disappeared. A cluster of cream-white liquid that emitted an exuberant life force replaced it. Xiao Yang sighed in relief within his heart, while he studied the cluster of cream-white liquid. With a flick of his finger, the flame suddenly soared and the palm-sized cream-white liquid swiftly shrank, at a speed visible to the naked eye in the face of the soaring temperature. Following the reduction in size, its color became deeper and deeper. In the end, it was almost like a white pearl. Xiao Yang did not stop, after seeing that there was no unexpected scenario while refining the deep green fruit. He waved his hand and another medicinal ingredient rushed over, and was thrown into the medicinal cauldron. Under the full attention of Xiao Yang, numerous after-images of his hands began to appear as they danced. The temperature of the flame within the medicinal cauldron was high at times and low at others while remaining under his control. The complicated changes were frequent enough to cause many alchemists to be stunned. Just what kind of enormous spiritual strength did one need in order to control a flame to such an extent? The medicinal ingredients drew numerous arcs in the air before being completely thrown into the medicinal cauldron. They transformed into a medicinal powder, and then a medicinal liquid that Xiao Yang needed under the searing of the fierce jade-green flame. Xiao Yan's mind was extremely focused in his second attempt at refinement, and no accidents occurred. After nearly a day and a night of refinement, an embryonic medicinal pill, whose surface was uneven, had finally begun to take shape within the medicinal cauldron. Following the formation of this embryonic medicinal pill, a rich life force began to spread out from it. Xiao Yan had gently inhaled a breath of it when the fatigue between his brows slowly faded away. It is indeed worthy of being a unique pill that can raise one's lifespan, Xiao Yan quietly praised as he clicked his tongue in astonishment in his heart. Even in the entire Do Qi continent, a medicinal pill that could increase one's lifespan was very rare. After all, unless one truly trained one's Do Qi to a pinnacle level, everyone's life would end. If one could break through during this period of time, one's lifespan would naturally be extended a little. However, if one failed to break through, one would end up having to obediently die regardless of whether one was a Do Huang or a Do Zong. At this moment, a medicinal pill that could increase one's lifespan would reveal its unlimited value. Boom. Boom. The energy ripple spread out before finally colliding against the wall of the medicinal cauldron. This collision emitted a clear clanging sound. This medicinal cauldron is really solid. If it were an ordinary medicinal cauldron, it is likely that it would have cracked open under such an energy collision. Xiao Yan could not resist letting out a silent praise as he looked at the medicinal cauldron that had slightly trembled from the collision. He thought that this medicinal cauldron he had obtained from Han Feng might well be comparable to the so-called black demon that Yao Lao used. This medicinal cauldron covered with drawings of all sorts of magical beasts roaring might will also be an item on the so-called heavenly cauldron ranking. The clang sound was gradually reduced as the cream-colored medicinal pill within the medicinal cauldron suddenly emitted an eye-piercing intense light. It forcefully rushed out of the medicinal cauldron wrapped in the white light. However, it was unable to escape despite having flown around the heavily fortified chamber for a long while. This deep green longevity pill is indeed extraordinary. It actually thought of fleeing the moment it was born. Xiao Yan was also startled when he followed the actions of this medicinal pill. He immediately smiled and shook his head. He beckoned as he moved back and a suction force pulled the white glow that was trying to randomly fly in all directions, forcefully into his hand. After which, he took out a jade bottle and stuffed the pill into it. The medicinal pill slowly became quiet after it was stuffed into a jade bottle. Xiao Yang only smiled with satisfaction when he saw this. He exhaled a deep breath. This medicinal pill refinement had exhausted quite a lot of his strength. Xiao Yang stored the medicinal bottle into his storage ring before his hand suddenly trembled. He shut his eyes and appeared to have sensed something. It was a long while later before finally slowly opening them and muttered, "I have once again felt the barrier of the Do Huang class. It seems that I am going to break through soon." This video will end here. Thank you for watching.